we're going to work on a really fun project that all of my students love, and it's called Artist Trading Cards, or ATCs. So artist trading cards are a relatively new art form. They were invented by a Swiss artist in 1997 who created this new art media as a way to increase collaboration and community between artists. He was actually looking for a way to kind of reduce the business side of art, like buying art and selling art, and he wanted to really celebrate just art making at its base. And so what he did was he based this new art form off of a very traditional trading card size, which is 2.5 by 3.5, and people came together either in the same physical space or they had artist trading card swaps all over the world. And then they would either post their artwork online or they would send it through the mail and swap it and trade it with each other and build up their own collection. So I'm going to show you really briefly the collection that I've been building for the last 10 years. And as you can see, some of this has been done by really young students who maybe just did like a little picture down here, all the way up to professional artists who are fine-tuning their collage skills and just playing with this kind of miniature format of art making. Oftentimes in artist trading card swaps, there's a theme that everyone will stick to as a way to focus their creativity in their artwork. There are all different media used. There is charcoal and drawing and collage, and you can add three-dimensional objects like brads and sequins and regular postage stamps and other three-dimensional materials, so long as you stick to the parameter of 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. The other parameter you need to stick to is being sure that at the end of the day, your trading card can fit into this plastic sleeve. This is a great way to keep track of your collection as it builds and to offer it to someone when you do a trade. And of course, you can buy these larger binder pieces of plastic sleeve as well. So besides the size of the trading card and the two-dimensionality of it, some of the materials that we use include scrapbook paper. Everyone loves scrapbook paper for different patterns and colors. I love using maps. Oftentimes I will just take maps from rest stops. I will go to library sales or Goodwill and get old magazines. I will get contemporary magazines that oftentimes have great colors and objects. And small designer paper as well is really good for backgrounds and pops of color. I love, love, love this supply. It's free. Just go to your local hardware store and get some paint chips. And as you can see, you can punch out of them, you can cut them, and they offer a splash of color as well as some three-dimensionality to your basic collage form. I've also used sequins as well as brads, which are those fun little metal pieces that attach one piece to another to again increase dimensionality in your piece. Rubber stamps and ink pads, and I'm a huge fan of getting old-fashioned mail and letters, and so when I get them, I take off the stamps and I keep them as another object to use in my collage. We also use a lot of different paper punches to make different shapes, like circles and pentagons, and I use primarily glue to attach it all together. I like using this type of glue where it's less wasteful than a glue stick. You just have a little container of glue, a sponge, and some liquid glue, and then it stays forever, and you don't have to throw away those plastic tubes at the end of your project. I also use foam stickers to add a little bit of dimensionality in my work, and beyond that, the possibilities are really limitless. So let's get started. Since I talked a lot about the history of artist trading cards and the materials and supplies we can use in making them in my intro, I thought I would talk a little bit more about some of the vocabulary words that we use when working on projects like this that are really based in the world of graphic design. So composition is a word that we hear often, and what it basically means is it's the arrangement of the individual design elements that form a whole image. So as you can see here, I'm using various materials and supplies and shapes and colors to create my composition. Composition is made up of a number of different visual design elements, including balance and repetition and contrast. So balance involves the placement of elements on the page so that the text and various graphic elements are evenly distributed. I am paying attention to that in this collage by the way I am mounting various pieces and laying them out on my basic trading card. Repetition is important. To maintain a unified look, designers oftentimes repeat elements throughout a design. You can see me using the bars of black and red here that I got from a magazine as repeated elements. And contrast. Contrast is achieved by including elements within the design that look measurably different from one another. So I may use color and shape and texture and size to create interesting contrast in the piece. I love rounding the corners of my work at the end to give it a more contemporary look. And then that's pretty much how we can make an artist trading card. I hope you enjoy. To continue my theme of creating a rainbow of artist trading cards, I've now moved on from the red color and I'm working on the orange color. As you can see, I've chosen a similar variety of elements as the red card. There are pieces of paper from font magazines. I've used scrapbook paper. What I'm applying right now is a fun orange basketball postage stamp. I use a thumbtack to pre-put a hole in the paper to add brads and other small colorful elements. These 3 slices come from a paint chip, and I'm including them to mimic the radiating stripes from both of the 2 pieces of paper I've included on the collage. And finally, I've taken a small paper punch that looks like a crown, and I have cut out 3 different paint chips of orange crowns to add as a balancing element to the left side of my trading card. Again, trim off any extra edges you have and round the corners. And if you have trouble with a 2-dimensional element like I just did, just take your scissors and hand round the corner. And there you go. You have your second card done in your rainbow of artist trading cards. I hope you've enjoyed this. Get your pile of red ready to go and start your rainbow.